another unboxing video for you today. If you hear some rowdy dog noises in the background, Rex and Ruby are wrestling in the office at this exact moment. So, if I need to pause it and shoo them out, I will. But anyway, I ordered this cover a couple of, maybe like a week or two ago. I got an email. This cover has been out of stock for a while, and I got an email saying that it was back in stock, and so I ran online and grabbed it really quickly, and it's actually already back out of stock. But if you sign up for emails from the company, when things come back in stock, they will send you an email. Like I just got an email that their Crazy Horse leather cover is back in stock. So anyway, this is the Galen Leather Company Zippered A5 cover, and I took a peek already. It's absolutely beautiful, but I guess this isn't like a total unboxing, and the reason for that is because it showed up in the package, like literally hanging on by a thread. The was it FedEx? I think it was FedEx. But the FedEx bubble wrap mailer was completely sliced open, and I'm actually shocked this thing stayed inside. It was a bubble mailer about the size of this box and like completely sliced open. The guy basically just handed me a hanging open package. So somehow this made it to me from Turkey in one piece. I don't know how. The planner gods must have been smiling upon me. So anyway, let's get inside. I have a bunch of notebooks to show you guys how this fits inside, and a couple of fountain pens, because the setup of this is actually really unique, and that's why I bought it. So the Galen Leather Company, they are based out of Turkey, and they have a really interesting story. I will link a video down in the description box talking about kind of how the company was founded, where they got their start, and things like that. So it's a really interesting story and a great company to support. You can get some of their products on Amazon. I don't know if they have everything listed on Amazon that they offer, but going to their website, which again, I will link all the information. I know I always say this, but I will link everything in the description box below so that you guys can track this down. There's also a like Galen Leather Fanatics Facebook group, which I will link below, but going to their website is going to give you probably the biggest selection of all the products that they offer. So opening this up, I did see in somebody else's unboxing video that they send, it's like Turkish coffee? I'm not sure. I think this is like, yeah, it's instant Turkish coffee. That's what this says. So just like, I love when companies send like little cutesy things like that. I've never had instant Turkish coffee, so I'm gonna have to give this a shot. I'm assuming this is also a Turkish tea brand, but it says Earl Grey tea. I always love having tea around, so I mean, it was just kind of a cute little fun regional thing that they send from where they're from. So either way, this bag is actually really nice quality. It's like a really heavy fabric and nice sturdy pulls. So I'm sure I'm the queen of saving random bags. I'm sure I can find something to put in here, planner related or watercolor related or something like that. So cool little bag that comes with it. And then getting right into the notebook cover, this is undyed leather, which I really was torn between this and the Crazy Horse leather. The Crazy Horse leather is a really beautiful, rich brown color, and it's one of those leathers kind of like the Midori Traveler's Notebook cover that collects scratches and scuffs the more that you use it. And it's a dark brown color, kind of like an orangey brown, really. I'll see if I can insert a picture of it here so you guys can see it. But they have, I think they have a navy. I know they have a beautiful like forest green that I saw on Instagram. So lots of different colors, and I know they're constantly adding to it. I kind of wanted to take a walk on the wild side and go with undyed leather. Undyed leather, it's kind of like a love-or-hate relationship. You either really, really like it or it terrifies you, and I'm kind of somewhere in between. Undyed leather is literally just leather as it's, you know, come off the cow and gone through the tanning process, but there's no color attached to it. So this is, it's coming across the screen a little bit lighter and a little bit creamier than, this has a little bit more of a pinkish tone to it. But this will absorb everything that it comes into contact with. So the oils from your hands, if you put any kind of leather conditioning balm on here, it will just continue to darken with age and with use. You can actually set it in the sun to tan. I'm actually gonna grab a couple of undyed leather pieces that I have that I made. That's how my Etsy shop originally got its start, was making traveler's notebooks before they were everywhere. And I exclusively made undyed leather traveler's notebooks because that was just my favorite thing, was to watch how each one of them evolved. So you can see that it's a similar leather. This one's possibly just slightly more yellow, but this is how they start. I haven't done anything. I think I applied one application of neat's foot oil to this, and but I haven't put it outside to tan. Like, look at these amazing scars on this. Like, this is so beautiful. This is just an A5 size traveler's notebook I made, but this is an old one that I used to use a long time ago. But just look at how this leather ages. So you can see there's all kinds of scuffs and scars. There's an ink mark on it. Here's a really cool scar on the front, probably a water spot. The patina on this is beautiful. It's all shiny. Here's marks from the band. So you have to really be okay with embracing the changes that this leather is going to take on throughout the years, and this will just continue to get darker and darker. I believe I actually set this one out in the sun to tan at some point, but it will, the more you put it out, it will get like an actual brown color. So the more that you set it out in the sun, the more that you use it, the more that the oils from your hand are touching it, the more it will change. So here's a comparison for you guys. So that's what's going to be happening to this notebook eventually. So you definitely have to be okay with that happening. If you get something on here, it's not coming off. Like, this has like a kind of a matte feel to it. It's not shiny or anything like you would get with a dyed polished leather. So this is going to change, and you have to be okay with that. So if you're not okay with that, I would say try the Crazy Horse Brown or the navy or the green. There's going to be less changes that happen to that color over time. So let's open this up. You can just tell right away that this is a really high quality, well-crafted piece. They use a YKK zipper, which is a brand that is known for its durability, and this is a pretty serious size zipper. Like, this is, and when you unzip it, you can hear, I'm gonna be quiet and see if you guys can hear the sound. Like, that's a legit zipper sound. I don't know if you guys, like, you know those like kind of wimpy plasticky zippers that sometimes you'll get on cheap things? That's a serious zipper. That's an actual like legit zipper that's gonna be around for a while. The stitching around the outside of this is impeccable. I found no flaws with any of the stitching. You can definitely tell there's a lot of care put into these products. And I'm already seeing, like, I just love, there's a couple striations in here. This is probably a fat wrinkle from this cow at some point. There's a mark right here, possibly a scar. On the back, there is, you can't see, it's not, I have the brightness up really high so you guys can see everything, but it looks like there's a little freckle right there. And then it has the company's name imprinted into the back, Galen Leather Co., handmade, established 2012. So yeah, just beautiful, beautiful stitching on this. Like, you can tell that this piece was really thoughtfully made. So once we get it open, I think this is going to need just a little bit of training for it to lay like perfectly flat. I mess with it a little bit. Like, when I first got it, the leather is stiff and it has the zipper going all the way around it. So with zippered cases, sometimes you can run into the issue of them not laying perfectly flat. But I bent it backwards a little bit and it's already laying way flatter. I didn't want to mess with it too much before I showed you guys this video, but I'm confident that with use and with time and the softening of the leather, breaking it in, essentially this is going to lay perfectly flat, and it is almost perfectly flat. It's just very slightly sitting up right here, but with a notebook in it, you're probably not going to have an issue with that at all. So the inside of this cover is really what interested me. There's a lot going on inside here, and I think it's really cool. Let's look at the couple of things that got sent with it. So there's a coupon code here. Here is a little piece about their story. They were founded in 2012 in Istanbul. It looks like it's just a couple of people that are running the company. So yeah, it's a smaller like family company, which I think is really cool. I love supporting small companies like that. This is a really beautiful postcard, it looks like, and I'm actually gonna save this to put in my journal, and then I also want to try recreating this as a watercolor, which I think would be really fun. And this is a little note. Oh, it says, it's a little note about, it tells you what color you got, undyed leather, the date that it was made by, I am not even gonna try to pronounce that, Nordgul. So the person who made this piece, when it was made, and then a little bit of information about the care and the cleaning of this product, and information about their leather. So it does say we use locally sourced vegetable oak tanned cow leather. Every piece of leather absorbs dye differently. Small scars, imperfections, these are all one of a kind. So it does say when you receive your good, leather can be a bit stiff. In time, the leather will soften. So all edges are hand burnished and finished. So yeah, like I said, it's just a brand new piece of leather. So the more that you use it, the more that's going to soften up and the more floppy and flexible it's going to get. Now this is something I saw in somebody else's video as well, and I don't personally know a whole lot about it, but this is called an evil eye. And this is basically, it sounds counterintuitive, but this is a symbol that is supposed to protect you, the owner or the user, from ill wishes or bad luck. So I think it's really cool. It's a piece of glass, like a little glass keychain thing, which I'm probably going to end up like attaching to the inside, but I just thought that was really cool that this company sends a little bit of their customs, their traditions, the coffee from Turkey, the something from their country that represents some of their customs. I think that's really cool that they send something like this. It makes it feel more like you're getting something from a friend, if that makes sense. So getting into this cover, there's a couple of features about it that I think are really cool. One thing is on this side, the pocket is split. So at first I was like, why? I don't understand why they would do that. It's so that you can put a top-loading notebook inside of here. And I actually have a Rhodia, like a notepad, that I'll show you guys that you can pop in. This is just like an A5 size Rhodia notepad. But this is, I love things that are super versatile like that. Like if you wanted to pop in a notepad and use this that way, you could totally do that. Like that's really cool. This allows you to put in different styles of notebooks. So this is just an A5 size Rhodia notepad. Any A5 size notepad should fit in here, but I think that's such a brilliant idea to make the side pocket like that. What I will be using it for is for my regular journal, so I can keep some fountain pens over here, pockets to, keep track of little bits and bobs and ephemera and all that kind of stuff. But you can also fit a Hobonichi in here. This one, it says it was made for the Leuchtturm 1917, but I know that you can fit a Hobonichi in it. And the Hobonichi is quite thick. This still closes and zips. And I tested it with with fountain pens in it as well. So even though the profile of this is not super wide, it is still going to be able to accommodate your notebook plus pens over here. I'll just throw a couple in just so that you guys can see. Fountain pen. And these are not skinny fountain pens. Those are pretty big fountain pens. Close. Zipped shut. So I don't put a ton of stuff in my Hobonichi anyway, but there's still a little bit of room to grow. This is mostly going to be for my like writing kind of notebook. Not necessarily a notebook that's going to get a whole lot wider. I do put a few things like ticket stubs and things like that inside of it, but my notebooks never get really huge. So this would definitely accommodate. And again, stiff leather, going to stretch out over time. So the Hobonichi fits, and of course the Leuchtturm is going to fit. So it can accommodate softbound and hardbound notebooks, which not every notebook can, or not every cover can do that. So fits the Leuchtturm, obviously. It's made for the Leuchtturm. So yeah, so you can fit an assortment of notebooks inside, top loading, side loading, thicker notebooks, thinner notebooks. Here is a soft cover example of a Stalogy. So yeah, that fits too. Now, while I have this soft cover in here, one of the other reviews that I watched, they mentioned that because of the unique setup on this side of the cover, you may run into the issue of trying to write, like if you have a bunch of fountain pens over here and you have a soft cover notebook like this, it might be a little bit uncomfortable to try to write. Wow, that brightness is that brightness is very bright. There you go. I'll use the gray. I have the brightness turned way up, so I'll use the gray cover here so that I don't blind you guys. So with a soft cover notebook, you have a floppy cover here, so you're not gonna have the hard writing surface of like the Leuchtturm. And if you have a bunch of stuff over here, it might be uncomfortable to write on this side. One solution obviously would be to just pull out this notebook and write on it by itself. The other option is to just remove, this is removable, this is a fountain pen holder, like a card. So remove this, take whatever fountain pens you have out of here, and then it's going to be, these actually, they kind of push down flat. They come up, it's generously sized, but the elastic allows them to kind of push down flat, and they naturally want to go down to the side like this. You're not going to probably have any trouble. It's flat like this, writing like that. So I'm not worried about that. Also, my notebook of choice is a Leuchtturm, and so it's going to have the hardcover on it. So not too worried about that. Now on the left-hand side, you have a couple of things going on. Well, you have this in the middle, which I think that's kind of an interesting choice to put this in here. It's a keychain holder, which actually detaches, and personally, I don't foresee, my keychain is massive. It has a ton of keys on it, my truck key, my husband's car key. Like, this is not something that I would keep inside my notebook. If you had just like maybe one, I don't know, a spare house key or something like that, you could stick it in there. But it's just an interesting thing to stick on the inside of this planner. I'm not sure why they did it like that. I did see that somebody, they used the keychain and then they flipped it around the outside and closed the notebook up. And then they had it just kind of like dangling around the outside, which I guess that's one option. But a lot of people will be carrying their fountain pens in here with their notebooks, and some of these fountain pens are incredibly expensive and can be damaged very easily. Like, one of my favorite pens is this Lamy. It's a metallic body, and there's already a bunch of scratches on it because I'm not super precious with my fountain pens. But like, if you had, you know, $1,000 fountain pen in here and you stuck it inside, you don't want to have keys banging around against the fountain pens inside. So I'm just gonna probably pop that out and maybe attach it to my other keychain, use that for a little while. But I mean, it's a leather keychain with a nice heavy duty hardware on it. So a nice addition, not necessarily something I think of when I think of a notebook cover. Now, one of the cool features of this notebook is the massive pen loops. This can fit my gigantic Lamy, no problem, still with room to spare. And this is, oh my gosh, how beautiful. This is the rose gold TWSBI. I've always wanted a TWSBI. I've never had one because this entire thing is basically the ink capacity. So if you're traveling and you don't want to take your inks with you, you can fill up one TWSBI or two TWSBIs like this and take that with you, and this pen will like never run out. I've had this same ink in here and I've used it daily for a couple of weeks now. Plus it's the rose gold edition. Absolutely. Oh, it's not a pull off, it's a twist off. This rose gold nib is gorgeous. It's so beautiful. I'm obsessed with rose gold. I've always loved rose gold. So this is just such a cool pen. But this is a big size pen and that will fit in there too. If I'm traveling, I'm going to probably be taking a TWSBI with me because I can fill it up with ink and probably last the entire trip without running out of ink, but just in case, you could throw a second pen in there as well. And I like this little slot down at the bottom so that the pens are not like flopping around, they can sit in there. Now the other feature of this cover is a, I did not mean to grab this jelly roll, that's fine, it can stay there. Another feature of this cover is this removable pen holder. So this is just another kind of like a sleeve to hold more fountain pens, because I don't know, maybe you're the kind of person that needs to travel with all of your fountain pens with you all the time. But this one is, yep, elastic too, so it can fit a big fat Lamy in it as well. But this will actually it just slides right in here. And you can store, so 2 pens here, 4 pens here, you can store 6 pens with you at any given time. This would be really great for somebody that likes to take their notebook to travel with them and you know, go out in the world and draw. They're huge pen loops, so you could theoretically fit narrower, skinnier pens in here, but they're gonna flop around a little bit. So you would wanna make sure that it kind of, maybe the clip attaches to the elastic right there, and then it's gonna be fairly sturdy. But again, this closes and it zips, so not a huge deal. But with the problem of having a notebook in here and trying to write over the top of it, having it be all bumpy, what I would do is I would just pop this out, pop these pens out. Most likely I'll be writing with one of these pens, so I'd pop that out too. And then you have a flat surface to write on this side, no problem. So in addition to the pocket, to the pen loops, we have a pocket here, which if you have the fountain pen sleeve removed, you can use this as a pocket. You have a secretarial pocket right here. 1, 2, 3, 4 card slots. Another kind of like long skinny pocket right here, which you could, if you had a long skinny notepad, you could stick that notepad inside there. And then you have a big cover, a big pocket on the back here. Now I'm actually curious, I didn't try this. I'm kind of curious. I want to know if you could slide this cover in right there, slide this on the other side. Oh, sorry guys. Oh my gosh. Sorry camera. And then slide that one in over there and have both sides, I don't know. Oh wait, okay, hold on. Stand by. Yeah, so you could, theoretically, you could have both sides of your notebook slid into this pocket. I don't know if you would necessarily want it configured that way because even with a softbound cover, it's going to be slightly thicker and give you a little bit more protection over writing over these pen loops right here. I don't necessarily think I would want to travel with my notebook with both sides stuck in, but if you prefer that, you could certainly, the thing still closes with both sides of your notebook on either side, if that makes sense. I think I would probably rather just use this as an extra pocket, and then when I want to write, flip it open like that, shut it like that. Plus that also gives you the option to decorate the front of your notebook if you are somebody that likes to do that. So did I hit? I did. I zoomed in when I whacked the camera, sorry. Okay, so I think that's all I have to say about that. And so even with just messing with it, with you guys on the camera here, this is already laying even more flat. So I think this leather just needs to be broken in a little bit. It's really a beautiful, well-made cover that I think will be really versatile for a lot of different purposes. If you want to just use it as a journaling cover because you can keep all your fountain pens over here and your notebook on this side, that would be great. If you were an artist and you wanted to maybe store a couple of paintbrushes over here and maybe slip in like one of those mini palettes. In fact, you know what? I'm just going to, I have my watercoloring stuff out right now. Let's do this. I actually use this, this is from Peg and All. This is the Sendak Mini, like artist roll. If you guys want to see a review on this, please leave me a comment down below. Even if you don't want to see it, I think I'm going to do a review on it anyway because I love this thing. This is a fantastic cover if you guys have artist supplies that you want to take with you. I keep all my watercoloring stuff in here. So just for funsies, let's throw a few watercoloring supplies in here and see how this would work as like a travel watercoloring cover. Okay, so for watercoloring like travel books, you have a couple options. There's, this is my favorite. I like this one because I just prefer the paper in here better. This is a Moleskine watercolor travel book. The paperweight in this is quite a bit thinner, and so you can see the pages have warped quite a bit, but because of the ingenious construction of this notebook cover, you could certainly slide this in. I didn't test any of this beforehand, so hopefully this actually works. You guys are seeing it live in action. But yeah, you could totally throw a watercolor like pad in here and take this with you. Hi Kitty, you got something to say? Okay, we could put a water pen in here. You might be better off using this side pocket here because these pen loops are definitely larger than this one. So I'd probably throw, yeah, my water pen would go in there. These are gonna slide around probably a little bit, but I'm not too worried about that. You could actually do it like this. Yeah, I would do like that. So tuck the bottom of my watercolor brushes into this pocket here, watercolor pen. Let's throw a pencil and a micron in there. So that camera just shut off. That's always fun. So I don't know where I left off, but anyway. If I accidentally cut off any of this, I have my watercolor brushes, a water pen, pencil, micron, and then I'm trying to fit a ruler. I could either put a ruler in back there or right behind here. And then I have that there. And then actually I'm gonna show you guys the coolest little watercolor palette. I can do a review on this, but this is called the Pocket Palette from the art-toolkit.com. No, art-toolkit.com. Link will be below. But look at the tiny, cute, adorable little watercolor palette. Like, it's business card sized, you guys. Like, this will fit literally anywhere. Like, how cool is this? All these different colors inside, and then this is white so that you can actually mix your colors on there. Anyway, I would probably pop this right back there. Zip it all shut. And then you have a completely portable art setup right here that you can take with you. How cool is that? Let's try it with one other watercolor book that I have. This one is my preferred book, just because I like books that can fold back on themselves, and I also prefer the Strathmore. Yeah, this is called a visual journal, 140-pound watercolor paper from Strathmore. Yeah, this is a Strathmore notebook, so I don't know why I didn't rip this thing off. But yeah, so you could fit this inside. It's got a hard cardstock cover, but you could fit this inside as well. Just slide that in there. Again, close, zip. How cool is that? You could use this as a travel watercolor or journaling notebook as well. So such a cool cover, a lot of different uses I think you could get out of this. I'm sure there are other ideas that you guys have that I didn't even cover in this video. So if you guys have any other ideas for what this notebook could be used for, leave me a comment down below. I love to see different ways that people use their products. So anyway, I hope that video was helpful. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. If you liked this review, give me a thumbs up. Click the subscribe button down below if you guys would like to see more videos from me, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.